I'm trying a new household experiment to try to keep debris from getting into my gutters. For decades I've used these gutter covers to keep leaves from falling into the gutter. However, it's fairly large size screening, and it doesn't at all keep the gutters clean. I just cleaned this gutter out a few days ago, and prior to that a month before, and still all this little seed debris and all the other stuff gets into there. Particles from the shingles get into it, and it clogs the drain pipe fairly frequently. I end up going up onto the roof at least twice a year to do a major gutter cleaning. And I'm hoping to reduce that frequency. So inside this box are supposed to be 24 units of this gutter guard, which are each 4 feet long. This is the name assigned to it by Lowe's hardware. Home Depot also sells this, however under a different name. I think they use gutter guard by Gutterglove, and Lowe's calls it Atlas, but I've been told it's the same exact product. So this is it unpackaged. It comes with these self-tapping screws to adhere it to the gutter, and another approach is there's a self-adhesive material built into the gutter guard. You see this red strip here. It's a peel away cover, and then there's adhesive underneath, so you can just sort of press it in place if you'd like. Basically double stick tape holding it on, or attaching it by screws. This is one of the gutter guards. It has this ribbed surface underneath. This will go on the outside of the gutter, and this will go then up against the back of the gutter with a 5-inch standard size. Comparing the density of the screen to a millimeter scale, so it's like the spacing of the screen appears to be slightly less than 1 millimeter per less than 1 millimeter width of the screening, so like virtually nothing's going to get through here other than water. Okay, let's compare this to regular aluminum screen density. And this screen is like 1.5 millimeters per screen dimensions. And of course the aluminum screen has almost no strength. This by comparison has a lot of rigidity. I first became aware of options for other gutter guards when I saw a display of this thing called a leaf filter, which uses a micro mesh cover. What it has, though, is a micro mesh covering a piece of vinyl which goes onto the gutter, and then you can't buy it, you have to have it installed, and I figured that's going to raise the price 5 or 10-fold. So I started looking into other options, and then I saw the advertisement for the Gutterglove style of gutter guards. The width of the typical 5-inch gutter is 5 inches. The gutter guard is actually slightly wider. Instead of 5 inches, which might be 5 1/8 here, it's just over 5 1/2 inches, and the instructions have various ways that they want you to attach the gutter guards, either by bending the back of the gutter guard to fit under the space, or sliding it under the shingles and then attaching it to the top here. They're recommending 3 screws every 4-foot section to hold it to the front of the gutter here. The stack of gutter guards I got, 96 feet, I got on sale. It was like $171 with tax, free shipping. It was 20% off with Lowe's, otherwise it would have been slightly over $200. So that breaks down to, I got it for slightly less than $2 per linear foot, whereas installed you can expect it to be, by some other brand, a lot more than that. So here's the gutter guard dimensions. Looks like 5 5/8 inches. On the underside where it says 3M is a self-adhesive tape, if you're going to use that attachment method. The instructions that came with it describe a number of different attachment methods. Not that one, but and again, there's ways it would not work properly because there'd be a gap, which then requires bending. You have to have a little dip at the end here so that the rainwater won't run over the top. They have instructions how to do certain corners, how to join pieces. Where necessary, how to bend the gutter guard so that it fits by one of the approved attachment methods. So in less than a minute I put in this section of 4-foot gutter guard, and I did it basically by sliding it under the existing shingles, and then it could be as simple as cleaning off the top of this rim of the gutter, and they have a recommended method, and then peeling off the tape and then adhering it down. I have sort of a longer view of these things, and I think the screw method would probably be better for attachment purposes. And the one caveat I've gotten by looking at some printed comments online is that the self-tapping screws are easy to strip out. So what I'm planning on doing is, if they're saying every 3 feet, is I'll pre-drill this strip with a screw size larger than this screw shaft, and then drill through it with the proper size bit to thread it and then hand screw each screw in so I don't strip it out. So I've got more control than I would with a power drill, which is the method they're suggesting. You know, just let the screw do all the work, both the drilling and tapping, but not stripping out. So I think this roof is going to be fairly simple. I do have to look how to join the sections so that this mesh is in the proper overlap as I join each 4-foot section together. So by my count, there's 87 of these screws that came with this, plus one magnetized screw holder, which is enough for 3 screws for each of the 24 gutter guard pieces. So my next step in the preparation is I took a garden hose to the gutters and a scrub brush and cleared out, scrubbed out each gutter, 92 feet of it, this side of the house and the other side. I'm not exactly going by the book here, but it says 3 screws to hold the gutter guard to the gutter, and so I'm going 5 inches from the end, right in the middle, and 5 inches from the other end. The screw sort of fits into a 5/32 inch hole, so I'm going to go a size or 2 larger and pre-drill in the middle of this 1/2 inch space, pre-drill a hole so that the screw will go right through it without any resistance, and then I will drill probably one of these 2 sizes through the gutter and then hand screw in each screw. So I have all the holes pre-drilled at the front edge. Now for 2 sections to merge together, there's this area of screen that sticks out on both ends of the bracket here. So what you have to do is find a sharp metal cutting tool to cut away just this corner so that the fabric can go together and overlap. So that's the next preparation for each of these pieces. And this is the sort of outcome you need to either cut through, or is what I do is I cut through on one side and then bent it over underneath out of the way. And then the pieces overlap. Hard to do this with one hand, like that, when they're screwed onto the, actually a little snugger, but about like that. And then the fabric here just overlaps so nothing will fall in. And then this slides under the shingles. Since I have 6 sections, straight sections of gutters, I have 12 end caps that I'll have to do. So it's figuring out how much to cut off, and then this part hangs out, and then it tucks in to the end cap of the gutter. And I'll be doing that up on the roof line. So this is the first section I'm doing, and I cut the corner and cut the bracket off, and I've got this tucked in, and it looks good according to the way it's supposed to be. However, I realize there's one little defect in it, and that's on this side. There's actually a pretty good opening there. So I brought with me some aluminum screen. I think I'll try something creative to plug up that hole just so stuff doesn't blow in the side there or bugs fly in and set up a house inside of here. Each successive piece just sort of snapped in place, and then there's this overlap of the two sections that I had previously prepared, and the same thing there. All you got to do is bring up my drill and get the sorted screws in. Next I'm going to work on this end cap. So I'm sort of installing this backwards compared to the way they usually show. They usually show people with a ladder leaning against this, and I'm actually sitting up on the roof. It's this is the flattest part of the roof over a sunroom, and then it's a little bit of a steeper roof here, but it's still not bad. The big surprise I had earlier today, and I've felt it before, is in the middle of the day it gets to be a pretty hot roof, so I brought up this multi-thickness piece of cardboard as a cushion to protect myself from the heat. Now it's late in the day, it's not that hot, but early in the day it was sizzling hot, sitting down on the roof edge here doing this work. Actually, I was cleaning out the gutters this way. So this second end cap worked out much better, I guess because the gutter wasn't extending much beyond the edge of the roof. Or, I'm not exactly sure why. But there's maybe a finger-size air gap in here is all I can find. So it worked well to pre-drill, and then I used a smaller size bit, 3 sizes smaller than the screw itself, to drill through the gutter, and then hand tighten each one. It was not any big effort to hand tighten, and I felt much better control than just power drilling through. This was from day one, about 14 feet. This was from the second day. This is the easiest edge because it went up against the wall. I didn't have to modify the gutter guard for the end cap. Here was an interesting modification just to keep leaves out. Still using the gutter guard, but in a very strange shape. So the gutter guard continues across the front of the garage. In the back of the garage. This was again an easy end cap. This was a very complicated one where I have it under the shingles here and up against the wall there. On a second story roof area, I have another 30 feet of gutters on this side of the roof and then the opposite side, which has not congested with leaves that much or other debris, so it's a future project. Then when I thought I was done with the gutter project, I realized there's some modifications I should make. I went back with my fingers and rebent the mesh so that it makes more like a dish at the bottom, so that rain won't tend to flow over the edge of the gutter so readily. So it's sort of subtle, but now there's more like a curve at the bottom of the gutter guard. Also, when I did that, I found out that some of the screws I thought I had hand snugged up pretty good were actually a little loose, and so as I got the top of the gutter and the bracket more leveled off, I snugged it up once again with the hand screwdriver.